Hi, and welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today we have a 2013, it's a Nissan Versa. A customer comes in this morning in a panic, says that they were driving last night and their headlights went out while they were driving, and they're afraid there's going to be a big electrical issue and that there's going to be an expensive repair. And I'll quote them, what they said to me is that don't do anything until you check it and let me know how much it's going to be, because I have no money. How many times you guys heard that one before? So I told the guy, you know, you can't get ahead of yourself and don't assume it's a big problem. A lot of times what happens is you'll have one headlight burn out and you may not even realize it's burned out. You're driving the car along and all of a sudden the second headlight goes out, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I got an electrical problem. My light's burnt out at the same time. The reality of it is, it's possible that the headlights, one of them burned out and you didn't realize it, and the other one burnt out and then you realized. So let me show you what it's doing or what it's not doing, and then we're going to show you how to check it. It's a very simple check. Basically, you just need a test light. What I use the power probe, because the power probe is actually, you can check power and ground on the same test light without switching the leads around. So I do use the power probe. It's a very basic circuit, power and ground. And then the high beam, you'll have power to the high beam when you apply the high beams. So let me bring you up there. I'll show you what it looks like, and then we're going to diagnose it, and we're going to repair it and get this job out the door. Being as a 13, the car was never in an accident before, I got a feeling it's probably not going to be a big deal, but you never know, so we'll see. But I do want to mention one thing. The other day, the mailman comes in and he gives me some mail. This is the mail I get. And I'm thinking, wow, that's a pretty strange looking stamp. I don't see them very often. And then I realized it says up in the other corner here, that it says airmail. I look on the back of it, and it's from my buddy Rob in the United Kingdom. And what I got is, oh boy, I'm going to try to read this without my glasses. And you know, you get to be my age, you need glasses. Okay, all right. Well, Rob sent me some stickers from his channel, and they're going to go up on that box back there with Steve, Rob, and Wyatt. We're going to put them up on the box right next to them. And Rob, I will send you some. I think you have a return address on here. Yep, you do. I'm going to send you some channel stickers from my channel, but anybody on my channel, check him out. He's a really cool guy. You'll like what he does too, and I love his accent, by the way. So, all right, let's get up there and let's take a look at this and figure out what's going on. Thanks again, Rob. All right, let's go in there and see what's going on. Now, some cars you do need to have the key on to have the headlights come on, but I don't believe this one does. To make sure. Okay, that's the high beam, so if we needed to have the key on, we would have to have it off the high beams as well. As you can see, both headlights are burned out. So let me bring you in there. I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and then we're going to figure out what's going on with it. All right. All right. I do love these lights by OTC. It's called the Otc Spectrum Light. What I like about it is you can put it on there, you can angle it for any angle you want, and it points right where you need it to. Now down in the back, right over here, is the electrical connector for the battery, for the headlights. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect these leads right here, and we're going to check for power and ground at these. So let me get my test light, and we're going to get set up, and we'll figure out what's going on. And let's see over here. All right, same thing on there. It's plugged in there. All right, let me get my test light set up, and we'll see what's happening. Okay, so it's a pretty basic circuit. You basically just have power and ground. So we're going to connect our power probe up to the battery. Now we're just going to unplug the electrical connector from the back over here, and that basically just pulls right out. Sometimes they're stuck, but they just pull out. That's our plug from the back of the headlight. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to just check for power and ground. That's a ground. That's a ground. Let's just make sure all lights are on. Got to turn the lights back on. Okay, as you can see, I'll explain what's going on. Right now we have the ground wire, which is most likely going to be our black wire. That's our ground wire. We have a ground. The green means it's a ground. That's our high beam. That's also ground because we don't have it on right now. And this, you see that's lighting up red? That's our power lead for the headlight. So we have power to this light, and we have ground to this light. So therefore that light should be on, but it's not. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go over on this side here, we're going to check the light on the other side too, just to make sure. But I got a feeling we just have a bad light bulb, so let me just try something here real quick. Bring you in there, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the headlight out. I don't know if you're going to be able to see what I'm doing in here, but that's where our headlight is located, right in there. We're going to pull off this rubber cover right here. It just pulls right off. I know it's a little bit tight to see in there. That's our cover right there. So we're just going to pull that cover off. We're going to try not to rip it because we need to reuse it. So we're just going to pull that cover off to gain access to our headlight. And then you'll notice there's a little clip. Well, maybe you can't see it. See that little clip right there? You need to push that clip in. Like that. Just move it down like this. We can take our headlight out just like that. Now remember how you took it out. We had that little tab facing to the top, so that's the way it's got to go back in. Let's take a look at it and see. It's hard to tell if it's burned out, but let me just show you a trick real quick. Let me put you back in the stand over here and I'll show you. Hopefully we can do this, but we'll see. Okay. We're going to take our plug. Can't see what you're doing here. Okay. We're going to take our plug, put our light bulb in the plug, and you can see there's nothing there. Watch this. This happens. Sometimes it works. There you go. So you know you have a burned out filament in that light bulb. And I'm 99% sure we're going to find the same thing out in that one over there. But we're going to pull that apart now, and we'll take a look at it and see. Now I'm going to shut this light off because that thing is going to get hot and I'm going to get toasted. These lights build up a tremendous amount of heat. So if you were to touch this right now, you'd lose your fingerprints. You'd melt your fingerprints right off. I guess if you're a thief, that's actually a pretty good thing, right? Alright, so we're just going to take this off for now. We're going to go over to that light. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to test this light out just to see what's going on over there too. So let's do that. Trust the Otc Spectrum. Get some light on the subject here. Okay. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull off that cover. First we got to unplug the light. Like this. And we're going to check this one again for power and ground. We'll turn the key back on. I'm sorry, I mean turn the lights back on. And we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to test power and ground. We have a ground. We have power. We can pull that headlight out. We'll try the same thing we did on the other side. We'll tap it and see what happens. Just pull the rubber seal out just like that. We'll use this over. We're going to push that little metal tab that we have on there. Let's pull our light out. Okay. We'll put this back in. And we're going to go inside. We're going to cycle the headlights off and on because it looks like they shut off themselves. Okay, as you can see, that headlight's still not on, right? Let's try it again. Okay. Let's take a good peek at this one and see. Alright, I had to run inside and grab my glasses to look at this. But if you look very closely right down in there, you can see that filament is broken. So let me call up and tell the customer what's going on. It's basically just going to need 2 headlights. So we'll get the lights in and we'll put it back together and this job will be out the door. So let me make a phone call. Okay, now one thing I want to point out, when you get a new light bulb, you always want to make sure that you do not touch the bulb itself. Only hold the back of the bulb like this. Don't touch this filament here. If you touch the filament, this bulb is going to prematurely burn out. So do not touch that filament. Make sure that you have the correct bulb. Match it up to the old bulb that came out. We do have the right bulb for it, so we know we're okay there. And now we're going to take the bulb and we're going to put it back into that socket down there. Bring you in there so you can see what I was doing. You see down underneath there, that little tab right there? That tab had to be pushed back underneath that little piece right there. Now once you have that tab back in place, then what we're going to do is we're going to get in here with that rubber cover that we previously took off. It's this. Put it over the bulb itself. Push it on just like that, and now we can reattach our wiring just like this. Push it on, make sure it snaps in just like that, and now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So let me grab the other light bulb. Okay, now remember what we said. We're going to take the bulb. We're not going to touch that filament. You put the bulb into its holder where it belongs. Where it belongs. I hope you can see okay like that. You see that little tab is locked in place. It's locked in just the way it's supposed to be now. We're going to take that rubber piece that goes over the top, slide it over just like that. Make sure this is pushed in all the way, and then we're going to reconnect our wiring back on. Just like that. Make sure it's pushed in all the way. Okay. All right, let's turn it on and make sure it's okay. Okay, now if we did our job correctly, those lights should turn on. Take this out of the way. All right, both our headlights are on. We'll test our hard beams. That's it. Okay. Okay, so that's it. You're all set. All right, don't assume that there's going to be a big problem. Always look at the the easiest thing first. And in this case, the easiest thing was the burned out light bulbs. Okay, that's it. We're all done. All right, so this is all set. It's out the door. Don't always assume that it's going to be a big problem until you check it to find out what it is. In this particular case, it was just a simple thing where most likely one of the headlights burnt out, and they never realized it until all of a sudden the second headlight burnt out, and then all of a sudden it was like both my lights went out at the same time. So always look at the easiest thing first. So that was the case here. All right, that's it. Any questions or comments? You want to talk to me about anything? Send me an email. I'll be more than happy to talk to anybody about anything. As always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.